How do 700-pound rocks move on their own? In a remote corner of Death Valley, massive rocks drift across the desert floor, leaving long, silent trails behind them. For nearly a century, no one had an answer. Was it aliens or a strange magnetic force? The truth is even more incredible. To understand the mystery, we first need to understand the place. This is Racetrack Playa, a dry lakebed nestled between remote mountain ranges in Death Valley National Park. It's almost perfectly flat, stretching nearly 3 miles across. For most of the year, it's just dry, cracked ground hardened by the heat. The stones themselves, not mysterious. They're just regular rocks, broken off from the nearby mountains. But the real mystery is how they move. Since the early 1900s, people have seen these rocks, with long trails behind them, some over 1,500 feet long. But how do they move? Some thought strong winds pushed them. But that wouldn't work, not for the biggest one. The mystery grew deeper. These tracks didn't just go straight. They curved. They moved together. Sometimes they even turned back. No noise, just motion, without explanation. For years, scientists tried to crack the case. But the conditions needed for movement were so rare, the rocks could sit still for a decade or more. Catching them in the act seemed impossible. Then in 2011, a team of researchers decided to wait them out. They fitted 15 stones with motion-activated GPS trackers and installed a high-resolution time-lapse camera overlooking the playa. They were prepared for a long, patient vigil. For 2 years, nothing happened. The rocks remained perfectly still. They had everything ready, but the desert stayed silent. Then, at last, in the winter of December 2013, the perfect, rare combination of events began to unfold. The team on site heard strange popping and cracking sounds echoing across the playa. For the first time ever, the sailing stones were caught in motion. So how do they move? It's not one force, but a perfect mix of 5 rare conditions. First, rain. The desert must fill with just a few inches of water, enough to form a shallow pool but not cover the rocks. Second, a hard freeze. On cold winter nights, that water turns into a thin sheet of ice but strong enough to push. Third, the thaw. As the morning sun rises, the ice begins to splinter, breaking into wide floating panels. Fourth, a gentle wind. Not a storm, just a light breeze, gently pushing the ice across the water. And finally, the push. The ice panels act like sails, catching the wind and slowly pushing the rocks across the soft, muddy ground. At a calm pace, just 10 feet per minute, the stones glide forward, carving long trails into the desert. The mystery of the sailing stones is solved. It wasn't aliens or magic, but a delicate science of rain, ice, and wind. A phenomenon so rare it might only happen once in a decade. It's a powerful reminder that the most incredible wonders on Earth aren't always supernatural.